Hi, this is an intuitively channeled guided message for January 22nd, 2019. I'm going to start with a reading from Melody Beattie's book, The Language of Letting Go. Her work is about codependency. If you don't know the term, it's about letting go of other people's power over our emotions. So we're not reacting to people anymore, but we're focusing on our own needs rather than reacting. Okay. Appreciating our past. It is easy to be negative about past mistakes and unhappiness, but it is much more healing to look at ourselves and our past in the light of experience, acceptance, and growth. Our past is a series of lessons that advance us to higher levels of loving and living. The relationships we entered, stayed in, or ended taught us necessary lessons. Some of us have emerged from the most painful circumstances with strong insights about who we are and what we want. Our mistakes, necessary. Our frustrations, failures, and sometimes stumbling attempts at growth and progress, necessary too. Each step of the way we learned. We went through exactly the experiences we needed to become who we are today. Each step of the way we progressed. Is our past a mistake? No. The only mistake we can make is mistaking that for the truth. Today, God, help me let go of negative thoughts I may be harboring about my past circumstances or relationships. I can accept with gratitude all that has brought me today. All that has brought me to today. Okay, so I'm also gonna start with a quote from Rumi. And I just opened to a random page and I got draw near. Whatever it is you wish to marry, go absorb yourself in that beloved. Assume its shape and qualities. If you wish for the light, prepare yourself to receive it. If you wish to be far from God, nourish your egoism and drive yourself away. If you wish to find a way out of this ruined prison, don't turn your head away from the beloved, but bow and worship and draw near. Nice, okay. I also want to talk about cats. I was drawn to put this cat in the background today, my cat figurine. I know that cats represent, they were like worshipped. They were worshipped in ancient Egypt because there was this cat goddess that was said to control them in ruling over or in protecting the house spiritually and from rodents. And they were mummified, so they were really important. And this cat keeps haunting me. I had this figurine years ago and I lost it, and then I found it at this flea market with the same cat that I thought was maybe one of a kind, but I guess it's like was mass manufactured maybe in the 60s. Okay, anyway, so, and then I have a little crystal here, just for, this is quartz, just to clarify the energy and absorb any negative vibes. Okay, we're going to use Bluebird Lenormand Tarot, Doreen Virtue Fairy cards, and the Jungian Tarot, which I'll put the name of the author. I don't have it on hand. Okay, so we're just going to get some messages for January 22nd, 2019. What are some things about the day that Spirit wants us to know? Or Source, whatever you want to call it, higher energy. So this is just a general card for the day. Okay, Six of Swords is a card about letting go of past situations that no longer serve us and moving forward. It can be a painful transition or a rite of passage. The Six is also, so it's probably most likely a mental experience more than emotional. And because the Swords is a mental card, I see it as related to air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, any of the mental signs. So sort of letting go and moving beyond perhaps a mental prison. That's what, yeah. Okay, so that could be a relevant card for the day. I'm not sure. Let's contextualize this card with sorry to cover you up, little cat. I'm gonna contextualize it with the Lenormand Bluebird card, and there's a little booklet that comes with it, and it's these kind of strange Victorian cards with these weird phrases that I think are sometimes really fitting. So let's ask about what are we needing to let go of and move forward? What are we needing to like purge from our lives to make this perhaps painful transition that's necessary? Okay, I got man's best friend, number 18. 8 and 1 is 9. So that was related to the cats. And at the beginning, cats have 9 lives. 9 is a number of endings. Okay. Man's best friend, faithful and true. Just put on my next music here. Man's best friend, faithful and true. His soul he learned and trust to you. A pat on the head delights the old boy and rewards you greater with love and joy, loyalty and joy. So dog. So it's relevant for me because my dog was sick today, so I spent a lot of time with my dog. I'm going to read about that card from the book. And I'll put the music that I'm listening to just for kicks, in case anyone's interested. If this card is near the Clarent card, it signifies a true and lasting friendship. If this card is surrounded by cards of bad omen, it's just a needy friend who takes more than they give. So since it's next to this card of moving on and letting go from a situation that doesn't serve us anymore, I'd say that there was someone was like maybe you were maybe too loyal to someone who wasn't good to you. And it's time to move on from that situation. 9s are endings. So it's a painful transition because maybe you were like loyal like a dog to this person. Like you were super like, and there's a heart in the one on the right. So I associate it with like a love experience, emotional experience. So sometimes sometimes it's hard to let go of people that we feel attached to, and maybe we're used to giving more of ourselves, relating back to the codependency quote in the beginning, instead of we might have grown up in situations where we're used to what we know about love is that we're supposed to sacrifice, and that's not right. That's just something we learned as children maybe, or I'm not sure where we learned it. We all have different experiences, but yeah, it's not healthy to have a relationship that's only one-sided. So that's what I'm getting so far. Let's ask another question about these 2 cards. What I want to ask, I have to ask, how can this transition be more smooth if it's so painful? Maybe mentally, emotionally, how can we make it more positive and move in a good direction? What will be some things to keep in mind? Okay. I got 7 of Autumn from the Doreen Virtue. 7 of Autumn. Have patience and don't worry. Take time to rest and plan your next steps. A prudent investment of time or money. So, I see the autumn month is like having to do with harvest and plentiful bounty of physical abundance. So something about maybe the relationship was linked to physical abundance, or like maybe the physicality in the relationship, like maybe it was a very sensual relationship. I feel like this card is saying, when we push ahead, I keep mentioning Abraham Hicks in all these little readings, but I'm obviously obsessed with Abraham Hicks. But Abraham talks a lot about procrastinating as being a good thing. Like we didn't want to push ahead with something when we're not ready because the energy is not lined up yet. So it's not going to go well for anyone involved. So this is saying have patience. The abundance is coming to you, and where I want to say they invested in time or money. Maybe you've like made some changes for this person, or invested something, like invested your time literally your money, and maybe the path forward isn't clear because it seems like you're moving on from this person, but what you've invested is still meaningful. It's just what I'm getting. I'm gonna read from the book for that one. from Jareen. And oh well, I guess I misplaced my book. Oh no, it's right here. Okay, so 7 of Autumn. And traditionally, 7s are, I see them as like the mystery number of things that are like hidden. Let's see. So 7 of Autumn. The best treasures in life often take a while to mature. Don't stop believing just as the fruit ripens on the vine. Your plans may seem to be moving slowly, but the pace is quicker than you realize. Be patient. Soon your harvest will come in, and you'll see how successful you have been as you wait for your goals to come to fruition. Now is a good time to ponder your progress so far. Note the improvements or adjustments to your process that you might make next time around. A young farmer fairy waits patiently for his crops to mature. In the meantime, he contemplates how to occupy his time until the harvest. Additional meanings of this card. Diligence, slow but measurable progress, a foreseeable increase in income, time for a little rest, worrying for no reason. So, again, I'm being guided to talk about when we push, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. The energy is going to be all effed up if you're pushing to make something happen. So more we relax, the more we meditate, maybe do yoga, some deep breathing, or disconnect from our current situation, the more things become clear. So I know it sounds counterintuitive, but that's how abundance comes, which for most of us growing up in this society, it feels so like wrong that we should work hard for things to happen, but actually not how manifestation comes. I want to do one last quick message for the day from Mother Peace Tarot. Let me just show this. Oops, this little cover. It's by Karen Vogel and Vicky Noble, and it's a really cool round tarot deck, and it's like super feminist, I feel, take on the Rider-Waite tarot, which is like the traditional tarot, and it's just fun, and it was like made in the 70s, so it has kind of this hippie vibe, and there's like multiple meanings based on how it's this, instead of just the binary of upside down tarot, like we can read normal tarot cards as having a reverse meaning. These have like a rotated all directions meaning. So so I just want to ask one last question for the day, which is what signs should we be looking for to move forward from the situation? What is going to guide us in moving forward? And I got 10 of Wands. Might sound like an out there question, but for me it felt right. Sometimes there's signs that can tell us what direction to take, or what the next step is. And I know that the card before this was about releasing and letting go, but once we do that, we have to also be willing to meet the universe where it's reaching out for us. So the question is, what are the signs that we should be looking for? And I got 10 of Wands reversed. Wands are related. Wands are traditionally linked to fire signs, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. So these are the like intense fire energies of the zodiac. They're not reserved, I'll say that, and they can be aggressive, but they're also just this passionate energy. So yeah, I think of it as like solar plexus energy, like could be sexual energy. I haven't read the description yet, but I know that this card might have to do with conflict. So I was thinking it's relevant to say that Mars is in Aries for the 22nd of January in 2019, and that's going to mean that people are, when you're communicating, or when you're like in a intense gut situation, like you're maybe in an altercation with someone, Mars is the god of war, so that rules Aries. So you're gonna have you might have some conflicts. You might be really direct, because Aries is such a direct sign. You might just like be like, hey, I'm not accepting your bullshit, or something like that. Like something maybe out of character for someone who might be more reserved. Okay, so this is the message for the Ten of Wands reverse. She's pulling back her energy. She might not have gone far enough, or she sensed it would be a waste of her energy to continue in a particular direction. So I'm reading that as like that the pulling back is even more important, instead of going in the direction that you perceived that you were wanting to go towards. Maybe using that Aries direct intense energy to pull back, to like drastically pull back from the direction that you were going or that you thought was right. 10 is also, I say 10 is a complete, 9 is endings, but I see 10 as a completion of a cycle. And also it could be like a harvest, or like, I don't know, some people link it to a Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, I do want to do one last quick reading, which is not from a spiritual text, but it's a text that many people will know that I love. And it's just Emily Dickinson poems. I'm just going to read to an open one for the day, for January 19th. Behold this little babe, the boon of all alive, as common as it is known, the name of it is love. To lack of it is woe, to own of it is wound. Not elsewhere, if in paradise, it's tantamount to be found. Nice. Okay, so I'm not going to interpret too much today like I did with other ones. I know there's definitely a theme about codependency, and love being a source of wounds, but a source of something that exists in a paradise, maybe. And in maybe pulling back from maybe a love direction, this could be that has to do with physical bounty, pulling back our energy and moving on from a perhaps painful emotional situation where we felt codependent. Okay, thank you for guiding me. Thank you for joining me in this guided intuitive message for January 2019, January 22nd. Okay, have a great day.